The Pulse is coming to you live from our studios in Cocobod on your digital terrestrial TV, because we are free to air on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin settles raging debate on whether or not Parliament will be voting openly on the Anti-LGBTQI+ bill. He says sitting of committee dealing with the bill, as well as decision of the House on the bill, will be public.
Before the House is Christian, the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values. And this bill continues to generate a lot of interest. In fact, has taken and assumed some different dimensions.
We're live in Parliament to bring you excerpts of that conversation as the House resumes to consider that bill and other critical matters. Also this afternoon, nationwide strike by Health Workers Union beginning to bite as some patients are left stranded at health facilities. We'll bring you updates from our reporters and hear from the leadership of the union, who insist they will not call off the strike even as government invites them to a meeting to address their concerns. Plus, pushed by lawyers for former Cocobod CEO Dr. Stephen Opuni to cross-examine Supreme Court Judge Jones Doche, an Attorney General shut down as the court prepares to rule on whether Justice Doche can remain on the panel following allegations of bias. We have details.
Early application asking Justice Doche to recruit himself was also one of the gymnastics, as we call it, deployed by Dr. Stephen Opuni, and clearly it confirms the point that he's been seeking to avoid a judgment day.
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. The Pulse is brought to you by Global Communities, Dignilu, affordable, safe sanitation. Remember, we're also streaming live on YouTube and all our social media handles. Tweet at us with the hashtag The Pulse, and my personal handle is @DananaAisha. Please stay for details.
Hello, my name is Evans Mensah, and you can relive all the fun and excitement on Top Story, Newsnight, and of course, Ghana Connect via podcast. All you need to do is to log on to my Joy Online/podcast. Set for your favorite show and relive the moment. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners. Joy 99.7.
This afternoon, the minority in Parliament is demanding the removal of special petroleum taxes imposed on petroleum products from the 2022 budget. This is according to the ranking member of the Mines and Energy Committee, John Ginapo, who would provide some respite for Ghanaians suffering from agonizing high cost of fuel in recent times. John Ginapo insists the increase in revenue from the country's oil sector makes it untenable for government to maintain the taxes, outlining a number of interventions to deal with recent hikes in fuel prices. The Yapekusogo MP observed that the minority will use legitimate means to compel the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to dance to their tune.
The Chamber of Petroleum Industry and all the other players have indicated that they have not received any official or formal communication from the MPA. This is a complete insult to Ghanaians, as it demonstrates government's lack of sincerity and seriousness towards mitigating the suffering of the citizenry. Ladies and gentlemen, a critical look at the price build-up of petroleum products at the pump would reveal that levies and margins alone accounts for almost 20% of, almost 40%, I beg your pardon, let me take it again. Taxes and levies alone accounts for almost 40% of the final export price. Ghanaian businesses cannot even plan properly due to the unbridled and unprecedented fuel price increments, which is fast becoming the order of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, the attempt by government to blame these hikes on world market prices is untenable. A critical look at the 2021 budget would clearly reveal that following the energy sector levy, recovery levy imposition of 20 pesos, and the introduction of the sanitation and policing levy of 10 pesos, as well as increments in fuel margins, fuel prices witnessed a colossal increase of 12.48%. This cannot be attributable to world market prices. When you increase levies, when you increase taxes, when you increase margins, and it results in almost 13% rise in petroleum products, that cannot be as a result of world market prices. The minority, taking cognizance of the worsening situation and the incompetence being exhibited by this government, has taken the pain to proffer some concrete and cogent suggestions on the way forward as far as the petroleum sector is concerned. We believe that, besides criticizing, we should also proffer suggestions, especially as a government in waiting. It's only proper that we do so. Point number one, we hold the view that the special petroleum tax imposed on petroleum products must be suspended in the 2022 budget. This will provide some respite for Ghanaians from the agonizing high cost of fuel at the pumps. Why do we make this claim? If you look at the 2021 budget, the benchmark petroleum price was pegged as $54.75 per barrel. Today, as we speak, the world market price has risen to $85, representing an increment of 55%. So if you take what we projected and what is actually happening, it means that petroleum prices have increased by 55%. As a net exporter of petroleum prices, we have done the computation, and we have come to a conclusion that from the initial amount of $800 million that we were projecting to receive, we are likely to hit $1.2 billion by the end of the year.
This year alone, fuel prices have gone up 8 times, with the most recent being a 7% increase at the pump. The GPRT says it will absorb the recent increment, but that's only if government completely scraps or reduces 6 different levies on petroleum products. We'll hear from the General Secretary of the Union, Godfred Abobira, shortly. But first, let's look at how the increment has been over the period. And I have this for you, fuel price trends in Ghana cedis, and from 2015 to 2021 as at October. We start from 2015, and if you look at the two colors, diesel, blue stands for diesel, and the mauve color depicts petrol prices. In 2015, you had diesel going up with 2 cedis 77 pesos and petrol 2 cedis 64 pesos. In 2016, it went up by 3 cedis. It went up to 3 cedis 67 pesos per liter. That is diesel. And for petrol, it went up to 3 cedis 67 pesos per liter. In 2017, 4 cedis 46 pesos for diesel, for 1 liter of diesel. And for petrol, you purchased it at 4 cedis 46 pesos. That's in 2017. In 2018, it went up to 4 cedis 93 pesos for diesel and 4 cedis 93 pesos for petrol. So at that time, in 2017 and 2018, you had petrol and diesel selling at the same price. In 2019, petrol up to 5 cedis 35 pesos and diesel 5 cedis 35 pesos as well. In 2020, we came at 4 cedis 74 pesos, and for petrol, you paid 4 cedis 74 pesos for that commodity. In 2021, you paid 5 cedis 47 pesos and for diesel, and then 5 cedis 51 pesos for petrol. That was in March 2021. So you realize that fuel petrol price had gone a bit higher than that of diesel. In 2021, as at October, you realize that it has come back to par, 6 cedis 8 pesos per litre of diesel, and you pay the same for petrol, 6 cedis 8 pesos. And that's how much you pay at the pump. On the 25th of October alone, that is how much you're paying, 6 cedis 8 pesos, both for diesel and petrol. Now, between 1st and 11th March of 2021, you paid 5 cedis 51 pesos for diesel and 5 cedi 48 pesos for petrol. Between 16th to 28th February 2021, we paid 5 cedi 8 pesos for diesel and 5 cedis 1 pesos for petrol. Between 1st to 15th February, we paid 4 cedi 95 pesos, both for diesel and petrol. And between 16th to 31st January of 2021, you paid 4 cedi 95 pesos, both for both commodities, diesel and petrol. And from 1st to 15th January, 4 cedi 86 pesos for petrol and diesel. Fast forward October 2021, you're paying 6 cedis 8 pesos, and this is what is upsetting the GPRTU. It says as long as these taxes exist, the consumer will bear the brunt. Let's now broaden the conversation and bring in an energy expert, Kojo Poku. I'm grateful for your time, Kojo Poku. First, it was GPRTU pledging to absorb the recent increment only if the government completely scraps or reduces 6 different levies on petroleum product. Now is the minority calling for petroleum levies to be scrapped. I think we should listen to the GPRTU first.
We just want to make an appeal, and then this time around, not to request for the fair increment to meet the fuel prices, but that government should look at it in a different angle and then see whether they can remove some of the taxes we have shortlisted on that letter, saying that some of them need to be reviewed or to be scrapped off. On that letter, we had mentioned this energy sector recovery levy.
All right.
We had mentioned the MPPF levy, POS levy, and then this toll recovery levy. We have about 6 of them we have shortlisted. About 6 of them. We thought the government should look at it and then see. So even for some of them cannot be scrapped completely, but their margin should be reduced by the persons that they are charging, should be reduced. So that letter is yet waiting for the response for us to know when we have to do. Basically, we know that when government removes all of them, it will also have an effect. But we, like you heard me say from the beginning, we just don't want to just have that old conventional way that when the moment fuel price goes up, then we increase our fares. And one thing is that the moment fuel price goes up and then fares are increased, it affects almost everything in Ghana. Even a food seller by the roadside will increase. So that's why, looking at the current situation in Ghana, we just don't want to rush to increase the fares, but rather to see whether we can take this approach and then to extend our period of negotiation to see whether at the peak point the government will listen to us.
Whilst you're waiting to hear from government, you're saying you're having this meeting with your members. And so what is the conversation you're going to be having with your members?
Yes, we are going to discuss basically in case government doesn't respond to the letter, what happens?
All right.
And then if we're going to increase fare, by what margin? How are we going to do it? And then basically concentrating on the consequential effect of the increase of the fare, whether it will affect our business or not.
So we'll be having that conversation about price hikes in fuel, but we'll return to Parliament now because the House has reconvened after a 9-week break. Key on the table to be discussed is a controversial LGBTQ bill. Already, Parliament appears to have heeded to public calls and have taken a decision to make the debate as well as consideration of the anti-LGBTQI plus bill transparent. This assurance comes on the heels of agitations for the debate on the controversial bill to be made public. In his welcome address to the House, which reconvened from a 3-month break today, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin called for an honest conversation on the bill devoid of political and religious sentiments and urged opposing sides to be tolerant of one another.
The bill that has been christened the LGBTQI+. Honorable members, the bill before the House has generated a national conversation. And the bill before the House is christened the promotion of proper human sexual rights and guardian family values. And this bill continues to generate a lot of interest. In fact, has taken and assumed some different dimensions. For me, this is healthy for a maturing democracy like Ghana. It's important we allow various shades of opinions to canvass their positions on the bill. As Ghanaians, I want to plead with us to accommodate the views of others, whatever perceptions they have, and let's maintain the peace and coolness of mind and heart. The Parliament of Ghana is capable of handling the situation. I will assure citizens of this country that we will create the enabling environment for all to put across their views. At the end of the day, the processes of the House will determine the outcome. And when that is done, I am very convinced that the law that will come out of all this, if any, will protect the culture and values of our people and the Ghanaian identity. It's a law, I believe, that will also take into consideration the human rights and freedoms that have been guaranteed under our Constitution. And it's a law that it will take into consideration the richness of the common sense, human decency, morality, fact, logic, and at the end of the day, it's a law that will bring and transform this country into something else. So please, let's allow, whether they are religious bodies, civil society, academia, or whatever, to participate in the deliberations of this House. I know Ghanaians are expectant, and I know we have over 100 petitions before the Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, but we'll try not to allow any filibustering of this bill. Because it's not only Africa, the whole world is looking for the outcome of this bill. And so we will not just allow people to come and try to delay the process. We'll make the process public, and I support what the majority leader said. The sitting of the committee will be public, and the decision of this House will be public. We will want to know where each member of Parliament stands.
Meanwhile, the Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu is asking the committee to ensure the compilation of the report reflects the values and norms of the Ghanaian society.
Matter of LGBTQI+. I couldn't agree more with you, Mr. Speaker, on your position on the subject, and trust that our Committee on Constitutional Legal will engage appropriately the people of Ghana and the petitioners. Mr. Speaker, it is not for nothing that Article 106 provides that bills are gazetted for purpose of elucidating input from the public. And it should not stay per outstanding orders more than 3 months within the committee. We expect the Committee of Constitutional Legal to lead Parliament living up to that litmus test of an anti-LGBTQI legislation and nothing more. One that reflects our values, our morality, and the wishes of the generality of our society. How I wish I added that those who dare doubt what the position of Ghana will be on this matter probably could have examined or tested it at a referendum.
My colleague Parkway Simpaka Wilson has been monitoring events for us in Parliament. He joins us via Zoom for more. Parker, what else has been happening in the House aside talks on the LGBTQI+ bill and the minorities' demand for removal of petroleum levies?
Shortly after the minority leader,
the issue of the LGBT, shortly after the minority leader Haruna Idrisu spoke, the majority leader also waded into the conversation, and his point was that let no one believe or suggest that a group of individuals within the majority side are not in favor of the bill. His position has been that there are some portions or clauses in the bill that should be fine-tuned, and so in principle the NPP and the majority side agree with the bill. However, some people are creating the impression that the NPP is against the bill. So that was the position he made, and also asked the committee to ensure that they do a thorough job before submitting the bill to the floor of the House. Now, after that, there's been some presentation of papers on the floor. Today, nothing much was done. Parliament adjourned just about 10 minutes ago, roughly 10 minutes ago. But before that, we do understand that the annual statement by the Audit Committee of Ghana Meteorological Agency for the year 2020 was submitted to the House. And again, the performance audit report of the Auditor General on the distribution of medical supplies in Ghana was also submitted to the floor of the House. So basically, today, apart from the welcoming address from the Speaker of Parliament, the minority leader and the majority leader, a few papers have been put before the House for consideration. Again, there was a conversation about the election of MMDC. And Aisha, you recall that recently, even in Cape Coast, where we had some violence as far as the confirmation of the MCE for the area was concerned, the minority leader raised a major concern and indicated that it has become necessary for the country to now relook at how we can elect MMDCs. Now, the position of the NDC has been that let's elect MMDC, but not on partisan lines. However, he believes that the time has come for us to bring the conversation back to the table, the front burner, for us to have a very thorough discussion on the conversation. The majority leader on the other side agrees that indeed what happened was not really the best, but however, wanted the minority to join and assist them with the election of MMDCs on partisan lines. So I'm sure that going forward in the subsequent days or weeks ahead is something that will really dominate discussion here on the floor of Parliament.
The minority also descended on the vice president regarding the fall of the city. Tell me more about that.
Well, so that's correct. Now, the minority recounted some claims made by the vice president some years gone by. They reminded Ghanaians on what the vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, said, that he's managed to arrest the city, the dollar, and handed the keys over to the IGP. Shortly after that, we saw the city declining. So these are false claims, and they are asking him that going forward, he should be guided by the past and avoid or refrain from making false claims about the state of the Ghanaian currency. In the view of the minority, some of these things affect business confidence. So at the press conference, it was really an issue the minority raised that going forward, the vice president must desist from that practice which they believe it doesn't augur well for the development of our economy. And they also talk about the composition of the toll board and then again the removal of the taxes imposed on petroleum products.
Parker Wilson is our man in Parliament, and we are still monitoring how the LGBTQ plus bill will be going in Parliament. Do we know when they're going to begin work on that, Parker?
Well, so we do not have a clear timelines as to when the committee will present the report before the House. But what we know is that, and the Speaker actually mentioned it, that they do not want any individual to delay the processes and even the passage of the bill. And in law or in Parliament, the committee has not more than 3 months to discuss the bill, look through the bill, and present a report before the plenary. So it is expected that, looking at the interest this bill has generated all across the country, the committee will do a thorough job and in the next few weeks present its report to the House for the debate to happen. You heard the Speaker clearly that every member of Parliament would have to state his position on this matter. And I have been speaking to some members of the majority, in fact, the MP for Pankrono, Tafo Pankrono, Kovisen, who tells me that whilst Parliament was on recess, he managed to consult some religious leaders and traditional leaders within his constituency. And they were clear in their minds that the bill is something they support. So as he is headed to Parliament, he should ensure that his decision or the decision he takes in Parliament reflects the will of the people, which is in support of the passage of the bill. So for him, the Speaker saying that every member of Parliament would have to declare his stance, he is ready to declare his stance on the matter because his people have asked him to vote in favor of the bill. Same for Mr. Atacha, Samuel Atacha. When I spoke to him, he also told me that he has consulted his people, and his people says if he gets back to Parliament, he should vote in favor of the bill. So it appears that some members of the NPP are gradually making their stance known, and their stance is simple, that though the bill will protect the values and norms of the Ghanaian society, it is also important that we also look at some of the issues that they deem fit that it could infringe on the rights of individuals.
My colleague Parker Wilson in Parliament for us. Now, away from Parliament, checks by JoyNews shows the nationwide strike by the Health Workers Union is beginning to bite as some patients are left stranded at health facilities. The group is striking over what it calls poor conditions of service. It says the government has failed to review the conditions of service of its members as agreed upon in 2016, but rather that of their sister unions has been reviewed on 2 occasions. The leadership of the union say this blatant disregard for the plight of its over 40,000 members across the country has compelled them to take the decision to lay down their tools. At the Cocobod Teaching Hospital, members of the union have vacated their posts and offices are under lock and key. They also staged a protest pleading with government to heed to their call for improved conditions of service. Michael Papani was there and has been interacting with the striking workers and some stranded patients.
Go back. Go back. Go and join the group.
Well, we'll bring you those visuals shortly. But this afternoon, there's a scheduled meeting between the Health Workers Union and government to resolve the impasse. Let's speak with Nenete Aglo, who is the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Health Workers Union. Nene, I'm grateful for your time this afternoon. I'm aware of a meeting with government this afternoon. What exactly are your demands? Hello, Nene. All right, so we'll try and get Nene to join us back. I think there's a terrible connection there. But let's also bring in Ben Arthur, who is a labor consultant, to help us understand what the situation is right now. Ben, thanks so much for joining us. I'm sure you're monitoring the impasse between the Health Workers Union and government. Considering the essential services they provide, how would you recommend the matter is approached? Kindly unmute for me, Ben.
Let me take this opportunity to greet our viewers as well. Generally, it's become very expedient for government and organized labor in this sense, the Health Services Workers Union, to engage in negotiation. And for me, I've always said that, yes, you may resort to strike, but eventually it's a negotiation that will bring the solution. So it's good that they have accepted to meet government, and I believe that the meeting will be in good faith. At the end of the day, the strike will be called off. I must also appeal to the striking workers that, yes, after all the negotiations, they must also understand that the effect or the implementation of their negotiation can take retrospective effect. So definitely, there will not be too much need for continuing on the strike. If the idea is that, look, it has to take effect from January, from February, or from next year, whatever the agreement will be, that will be implemented. So there will not be the need to continue on strike. I must also say that when workers are going on strike, there's one critical provision which is mandatory under the labor law that they forget. Apart from that sector being essential services sector that is not entitled to go on strike, even though there have been various disputes over that entitlement, citing constitutional provisions here and there. But essentially, they must agree, the employer and the employee, the organized labor must agree to what we call minimum maintenance service. What it means is that even within the essential services sector, even if they want to go on strike, they must agree with the employer that there are certain categories of services and personnel who must be left at post. For example, if everybody locks their offices and they leave, and at the end of the day, you are back and there are no computers for you to work, there are no tables and chairs, they have all been stolen by others, and you have decided to go back to work, how are you going to work? If all your tools are taken away, how are you going to be able to work? So there is that provision in the labor law. Yes, the tool of strike is to force the hand of the other party. We understand that it's part of mechanisms in industrial relations, but it does not mean that the relationship should be jeopardized. It doesn't also mean that the interest of keeping the work going on must also be jeopardized. So there's a need to ensure that even as they go on strike, there will be minimum maintenance of their services. So you cannot say that outrightly we've locked the hospitals and that nobody should be able to be giving care. You will not be able to say that because all of us are aggrieved, we should leave our security men out. Anybody who wants to go and take air conditioning units and steal them should be able to go there and steal. If there are blood in the refrigerators, you cannot say that because you are on strike, you are going to put off the electricity and then let every storage or every medicine go bad. So we have no provisions in the labor law for minimal maintenance. So I am reminding our Health Services Workers Union that it is this country that we all serve. Yes, press home your demand, go negotiate. But at the end of the day, we should not suffer so much damages, because the essence of strike is not to institute damages. In fact, we don't have certain provisions in our labor laws that when a strike becomes illegal, we'll be able to really task people to feel the pinch of it. So we are pleading with them that even for a life lost, it will not be worth it. So there's always the need to negotiate. And for me, that is the way forward.
Thankfully, Nene is back on the line. Nene, I want to understand what your demands are, especially as you meet government for negotiations this afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, my sister. Good afternoon to your viewers.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Nene. I can hear you loud and clear.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your viewers.
Please go ahead.
Yes, our demand is just simple. Our demand is just simple. We want government to settle with us so that we'll be able to finish with the negotiation of our conditions of service. That is our demand. It may interest me that we started negotiation from 2019 up to 2021. Now ask yourself, what kind of condition of service will be negotiating for 2 good years? My sister, we appreciate a lot for our employer, that is the government, for some time now. And we realize that they are taking us for granted. That government is deliberately doing what we are not benefiting. So our demand is that they are qualities so that we'll be able to conclude our negotiation on our conditions of service.
Right. Thankfully, that meeting is happening this afternoon, right? Hello, Ned.
We are going to the meeting with good faith. Yes, that meeting is happening this afternoon, and we are going to the meeting with good faith, and our expectation is that when we go, what we are expecting, we'll be getting it.
What would you describe as a satisfactory outcome of the meeting?
A situation where government, through these agencies or representatives, are ready to sit down with us and judge with us. That will make us satisfactory.
Okay, so Georgia with you, and what outcome would you accept from government?
We've tabled so many things on the table for which I can't disclose to the public, but we are expecting that government should meet us on a way. Even at the halfway, we'll be happy about it.
Okay, so I'm happy that you say you're going into the meeting with good faith. And so we're looking forward to something important coming out of the meeting. Ben Atta is still there for me. Ben, as they walk into this meeting, what should be the guiding principle?
Thank you very much once again. But Nene rightfully mentioned their position that they're going to go into that meeting with good faith. And in fact, under sections 97, 98, good faith actually means that we are not going to use coercion. So once we have accepted to participate in the negotiation, in order not to use coercion, that you call off the strike. So in industrial relations, you not to tie the hand one party at the back, they call off the strike, enter in good faith to negotiate. But one of the assurances that when it comes to collective bargaining, organized labor can have is that, yes, the negotiation in their opinion has been made, but at the end of the day, retrospective effect. So all delays would have been solved. The people accept the fact that government is a lot on this one. When it comes to the negotiations, in fact, the finish the weaker grounds, there are others that are being handled. So I think that patience, as I confirm, is key. Going into the meeting with good faith is not to continue to be on strike and still going to negotiate.
All right, Ben Arthur is a labor consultant. I'm grateful for your time. And Nene speaks for the Health Workers Union. He's actually the Greater Accra Regional Chairman. And this is a meeting we are monitoring for you, and we'll bring you the outcome in our subsequent bulletins. Let's head to Takoradi right now, because 29-year-old Joanna Kra, who faked her kidnapping in Takoradi in the Western region on the 22nd October 2021, has been sentenced to 6 years imprisonment with hard labor by the Takoradi Circuit Court. It was presided over by His Honor Michael Ampedu. Michelle was initially. All right, so Michael Ampedu, and she was initially giving 2 separate counts on her 2 charges, which she pleaded guilty to at the same court on Monday. She was charged for deceiving a public officer and the publication of false news with an attempt to cause fear and panic. My colleague Inathalia Kwanzaa was in court for JoyNews. He joins me via Zoom for more. Inathalia, what more can you tell us?
Yes, so Aisha, just like you've rightly said, this young lady, Joanna Kra, was said to have been kidnapped on last week, Friday, 22nd of October. And this was an attempt to collect an amount of 5,000 Ghana cedis from her adopted father. So her father had reported the incident to the Takoradi police station. And then on the 23rd of October, Joanna herself came to the police station to report herself that she was joking, and for that matter, she wasn't kidnapped. Before that, 2 accomplices had been arrested by the police already. One, Susan Awotrin, and then Francis Eshan, who was aiding in the investigation. So these people were all arrested at the Takoradi Central Police Station. Yesterday, they were taken to the Takoradi Circuit Court A. At the court, Joanna Kra pleaded guilty to the 2 offenses of 1, deceit of public officer.
All right, Inathalia Kwanzaa is a correspondent in Takoradi. She's been monitoring
of false news with intent. Hello, Aisha.
Go ahead, Inathalia.
Yes. So yesterday she pleaded guilty to the case. So this morning she came back to court. When the case was called, the judge asked that a pregnancy test should be conducted on her. Immediately, the 2 CID who brought her to court took her to the European hospital, which was close by. After close to 1 hour, they came back, and then her case was recalled. When the case was recalled, the judge said because she had showed remorse on Monday, and for the fact that her adopted father had also attempted kneeling down in court to plead on her behalf, and for the fact that they had also pleaded for mitigation, they would lessen her sentence. But she is being punished to serve as a deterrent to others who would think of otherwise also committing the same crime, because kidnapping has become synonymous with Takoradi. The judge cited the case of the 4 missing Takoradi girls, that this is a case which is so fresh in the memories of the people of Takoradi and then the whole of Ghana. And there have been several instances of fake kidnapping being reported in the region. So she is serving as a scapegoat for others so that would not repeat. So Aisha, for her first charge, which is deceit of public officer, the judge said that the minimum and maximum sentence is from 5 years to 10 years, but she was given 6 years. And then publication of false news, the sentence is usually from 6 months to 3 years, and she was given 2 years. But accumulating all these charges, the judge says she is going to serve 6 years. This is because 1, she's a first-time offender of the law. 2, she cooperated with investigators and she showed remorse. And 3, for the fact that she has a 3-year-old son. The judge also said that her 3-year-old son would be given to her adopted father, whom she had intended to extort this 5,000 cedis from, because he has shown love to Joanna Kra. So Aisha, this is what happened in court today.
The family receiving this?
Hello, Aisha.
Natalia, how is the family receiving this?
Well, Aisha, it hasn't been easy for them, but I spoke to a neighbor who says that even though it's not easy for them, they feel this neighbor happens to be the brother of Susan Awotri, one of the accomplices in this kidnapping case. He says that even though this is not good for them, he thinks it will serve as a deterrent to everyone. Let's take a listen to him when he spoke to the media.
All right, we'll try and get that soundbite for you. But in Athalia, I also want to find out the mood in the community where this lady lives. How are they also taking this sentence?
Aisha, the community within Takoradi, we've spoken to few people or some people, and they say that they feel that it serves her right because they are tired of the fact that, just like the judge said, if you don't know Takoradi and you mention kidnapping, then one's attention will be drawn to where Takoradi is. They feel that anyone who does something like this should be punished. Some people are also of the view that the judgment is too harsh, but they still accept the fact that they are happy that this lady in question has been sentenced for what she has done.
And Athalia Kwanzaa is our is our woman in Takoradi, and she's been monitoring events for us. And do we have that sound? If we don't, that we'll take a break on the post. We'll try and get you that sound back. But remember to join the conversation via all our social media handles. We are on JoyNews on TV. You can also tweet at us with the hashtag The Pulse. My personal handle is @thenana Aisha. We take a break. We are back shortly.
What's up, guys? My name is Sammy Forson, host of the Weekend City Show and Ignition right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Well, anytime you happen to be busy and you miss out on your favorite shows right here on Joy FM, here's what you can do. Log on to myjoyonline.com/podcast. Just go on there and you'll find all your shows on demand 24/7. There you can catch up. Remember, Joy FM remains your radio for discerning listeners.
Welcome back to The Pulse. The 7-member panel of the Supreme Court has upheld the review application by the Attorney General challenging an earlier ruling to disallow Justice Onyenuga from hearing the trial involving former Cocobod CEO Dr. Stephen Opuni. In a ruling delivered by Justice Jones Doche on Tuesday, the court said the allegations of bias against Justice Onyenuga were unfounded and therefore the trial can proceed unabated. Reacting to the ruling, Attorney General Godfrey Dame said the ruling was in order and that the concerns from lawyers of Dr. Opuni were rather mischievous.
Well, I thought the early application asking Justice Doche to recruit himself was also one of the gymnastics, as we call it, deployed by Dr. Stephen Opuni. And clearly it confirms the point that he's been seeking to avoid a judgment day. And definitely judgment day will come. I thought that the application for Justice Doche to recuse himself was totally baseless without any warrant whatsoever, because the Constitution and various statutes of Ghana have placed constitutional duties upon me. By virtue of Article 153 of the Constitution, I'm a member of the Judicial Council. I sit on the Judicial Council with various justices of the Supreme Court, justices of the Court for Appeal, and justices of the High Court. By virtue of the Legal Service Act, again, a member of the Superior Court of Judicature sits on the Ministry of Justice Legal Service Board. By virtue of the Law Reform Commission Act, a member of the Judiciary also serves on the Law Reform Commission. So there are numerous boards and numerous committees that by the Constitution and by statute, the Attorney General is required to sit on it. My visit to the office of Justice Doche during office hours and in my official capacity as the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, and in his Justice Doche's capacity also as acting Chief Justice at that time, was clearly to discuss matters affecting the Ghana School of Law, unless they did not want me to resolve the issues of the Ghana School of Law.
My colleague Pakwesi Shandov, who was in court for us, joins me with more. Pakwesi, how did the lawyers of Dr. Opuni respond to this ruling?
All right. Right from the start of the proceedings to date, they have consistently refused to engage the press and comment on the matter, and today particularly was no exception. So after the ruling was given, they refused to give any reaction in that regard.
So, so when next is the substantive matter in court?
Well, the substantive matter is due to continue some 2 weeks away from today. That's according to the presiding judge who sat on the case. So some 2 weeks away from now, the case will be in earnest.
Pakwesi Shandov is monitoring this for us. We'll be in court in 2 weeks when the matter will be dealt with. I will bring you outcomes from the court. But President Akufo-Addo has affirmed he will not hesitate to sack any metropolitan, municipal and district chief executive that fails to live up to expectation. According to him, underperforming chief executives have no place in his government. All 250 out of the 261 confirmed MMDCEs by their respective assemblies are in Accra for an orientation exercise. And President Akufo-Addo, whilst opening the ceremony, assured delays in the disbursement of the district assembly's common fund will now be a thing of the past.
The Constitution spells out clearly we should decentralize governance to the local level. Almost 29 years later, this remains very much a work in progress. The instinct of the average citizen is still to look toward Accra for things that fall within the remit of the local authority. I'm expecting that you will be part of the team that finally brings decentralization to fruition. This should mean that the district assemblies build their capacities and are able to handle the responsibilities that have been devolved on them by law. Chief executives, it continues to be a good time to be in charge of districts, municipal, and metropolitan areas. You have the opportunity to transform the local economy and preside over the creation of jobs for our people. The local area is the target for all the programs we set forth in 2017. Programs we continue to implement for the growth and transformation of the Ghanaian economy. Planting for food and jobs, $1 million, one constituency, one district, one factory, one village, one dam, and Agenda 111. Policy initiatives, like all the other innovative introductions to the economy, are all very much local initiatives. I would sound a note of caution here. All government initiatives at the local level come within your purview, whether you initiated them or not. The argument that you are not aware of or are not responsible for government initiatives in your localities will not wash with me. You have to familiarize yourselves with everything, whether of your making or not. A chief executive who's indifferent or unaware of government activities in his or her area is not a suitable chief executive. The challenge is thus for all areas to take advantage of these programs to develop your localities. Whilst a lot of funds continue to flow into the localities, and every attempt will be made to get the common fund allocations to you regularly and on time, I encourage you to work to increase internally generated funds. You will not make the progress you should if your development programs are solely dependent on the relatively modest sums you get from the common fund allocation. But at the same time, Please apply your common fund judiciously towards the execution of planned and approved projects. It is not for recurrent expenditure and should not be used, misused, or abused.
The Ghana Immigration Service is calling on all applicants who have been selected at the initial stage but have not yet received an SMS for the second phase of the process to report at the various centers for screening. The head of Public Affairs, Superintendent Michael Amankwa, urges applicants to report at the various screening centers between Monday, October 25 and Tuesday, October 28. He adds that Immigration Service will be recruiting 2,000 applicants who are qualified across the country.
We have various screening centers where we check height and we check document authentication. Then also from there, if your documents and your height are within the requirements, then we'll send you a text message later on to report for the next stage on Saturday. So that's what we are doing here basically. We've gotten clearance to recruit and train about 2,000 eligible Ghanaian applicants. So throughout the process, our target is to look out for the 2,000 best out of this pool of prospective applicants.
So these 2,000 people will be taken across the whole country?
Across the whole country. Across the whole country. Across the whole country. Once you qualify through all the stages and you pass your aptitude test and you pass the medical screening, yes, we'll take the best 2,000 out of it. Because the work they are going to do out there is very rigorous and the terrain is not one of comfort. So definitely we will need those who meet all standards by the advertised requirements. Then also again, we realized that some of the applicants, although they were selected at the initial screening stage, did not receive text messages directing them to their centers to be screened. So by this message, we are informing all such people that as long as you were selected at the initial stage, you have to report to your screening center between today, Monday, to Thursday to be screened, and you go along with your PDF, the originals of your birth and school certificates, and get yourself screened.
Meanwhile, thousands of youth have massed up at the various centers where the Immigration Service is screening applicants for enlistment into the service. Love FM's Rastas Asaridonko visited the Kumasi Center and gave account of the process earlier on AM Show.
And so you can see two tents in here, one for females and the other one for males. And what they do specifically in those tents, you have stretch marks. If you have stretch marks as a lady, it could disqualify you. If you do use bleaching cream, and so if you do have effect in the body that comes with the bleaching, excessive bleaching, that one can also disqualify you. If you have a flat foot, they will check that. If you have a flat foot, that one can also help you with the kind of training they go through. Then they are looking for the body piercing. If you have any body piercing, they could disqualify you. If you are a man and you have earring piercing, you are disqualified. If you are a woman, if you have double piercing or multiple piercing with the earring, that one can also disqualify you. If you have tattoo in any part of your body, that one will also disqualify you. And so those are the processes. If you see those 10, when you go from there, the last one you see here, then they check your educational background, they check your documents that you brought. If they see that indeed it corresponds with what you have printed out, then you are allowed to go and you are ready to take the IQ test on Saturday, which is the final stage of this whole application process. Then you start your training to become an immigration. With the age limit, they do have applicants who are going in the range of degree, if you have a university degree, or HND, or senior high school. So depending on which one, it comes with specific age groups.
We're still live on The Pulse. Remember, we are live on all our social media handles. It's at JoyNews on TV. You can also tweet at us with the hashtag The Pulse, and my personal handle is at the Nana Aisha. We'll take a break. There is more when we return.
Hello. I'm Dori Nando. You can catch up with all the fun on the Cosmopolitan Mix and on all our shows via podcast. Just go to My Joy Online podcast and search for your favorite show and relive those moments all over again. Only on Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Well, Shatta Wale will certainly be enjoying some freedom now as he's set to reunite with his family. This is after he was granted a self-recognizance bail. He was last week remanded into custody by his lawyers this morning, managed to secure bail for him. The story is not different from musician Medical, who's also facing the law. He was granted a bail of 100,000 cedis. My Peter CBD of our entertainment desk joins us with more. And she'll be telling us what transpired in court. I mean, how did this whole thing happen?
I mean, when they came in, Shatta Wale and his 3 accomplices were dressed in all white. Shatta Wale was different from them because he had a green bandana over his head to cover his face. Medical, on the other hand, was dressed in all black. Their moves, as you can see, they're about to come out. So these are the accomplices. So this is Nana Dope. And one of the other accomplices, Shatta Wale, in the green bandana covering his face. Medical follows with a black, what's this thing called, hoodie over his head. They were quite calm when they came into the studio, and once after the ruling was made, he was still calm. They were still quite calm compared to the other time on Thursday when they came to court and they were excited.
Were there a lot of people, his fans, who were at court to support him?
His fans gradually trooped in. Shatta Movement fans gradually trooped in with some wearing t-shirts written Revolution. And Revolution is the new campaign to stop fake prophecies and fake pastors. That Shatta Wale, it said that was the reason why he, created this whole hoax or created this whole scandal, is that he was trying to put or highlight what fake prophecies do to us.
And with Medical, surely his wife would be there, right? Was she there?
Yes, Fela McCarthy was there. Also, there was DJ Varosky, DJ Isaac Cool, Mr. Logic was also there. And yeah, so those were some of the industry players that had come to support
yourself.
Medical.
You were there. You are an industry player, right?
I was there to cover the what was happening on the court in the courtroom. But on Twitter, if we go there, trending at #1 is Shatta Wale. Shatta is back. Before then, last week, that for almost 2 days, 48 hours, hashtag Free Shatta Wale was trending #1. So it was jumping from #1 to #2. But now hashtag Shatta is back is trending. And let's see what people have to say
on this one.
But before we actually go to Twitter, let's listen to Shatta Wale's lawyer on the proceedings that took place in court.
My clients, together with my great counsels, Chris Oseyeboa, Bobby Banson, Paul Abariga, and Nana Ose, aka Zastava, we put together a team of lawyers, and we were able to secure bail for Shatta Wale today. We're delighted that he will be united today with his family and friends today. So basically that's what happened today.
What were the conditions for the bill?
Shatta Wale was granted self-recognizance bail, and the other associates, the other 3 individuals in the matter, were also granted bail with one surety, a common surety being as a public servant, just one person. That's the condition that was thrown at.
What is a self-recognizance? What does that mean, please?
I mean, Shatta Wale is going to sign himself, he's going to bail himself out and go home. Nothing else. That's what it means, basically.
So when are you coming back to court?
9/11. 9/11. That's when we show up in court. Thank you very much.
Finally, for me, there's been a conversation about a 100,000 bail condition. Is it for Shatta or the other people?
All of them, 100,000. One surety.
What about medical?
I think we're a team together anyway, but his lawyer can expand more on that one. But medical also had a bail condition, one public servant, a common public servant, and that's just it. That's why. Thank you very much.
So that's Shatta Wale's lawyer speaking after he was granted bail, right?
Yeah.
And so let's see what people are saying on Twitter. Shatta is back.
Shatta is back.
Trending.
So let's go to Emperor_follow-up, who says, karma's gonna hit some of you real hard for breaking people who had nothing but good intentions for you. #Shatta is back. This one is from Storm Energy Drink, and that is one of Shatta's brand ambassadorial deals. And a lot of people thought that, after the stunt, he might lose some of the deals.
But this is what is coming from.
You can never hold an honest man down. There's grace in every disgrace. We are grateful. #Shatta is back. This one is from, Victory is giving us some betting odds. Champs Lifestyle says #Shatta is back. SM for life. No, Shatta Wale has been through so many things, and he doesn't fear things. So that's what people are saying. Shatta to release a new song tomorrow titled IGP. #Shatta is back. And we obviously can't wait to, most of us obviously can't wait to hear from Shatta Wale and Medical after this whole thing. Shatta Wale's handwork, welcome One Don and Medical. #Shatta Wale
So
is
did
back.
he say anything to his fans when he came out?
No, he didn't. He just went straight to the van from the courtroom. That's what Shatta Wale did. He was quite calm.
Definitely.
And I think
reflecting.
He's reflecting, and a lot of people are saying that he's been humbled. Because we've seen Seth Combs' documentaries of various prisons in Ghana, and it's not the most pleasant place to be, even if it's just for 5 days. So one could say that he's humbled. One could say that he's remorseful, and he's thinking about his next steps. But as entertainment industry players, we really can't wait to hear maybe his first song, Medical's first song. We also can't wait to see him on Twitter and Facebook in his first live
Definitely
appearance.
something that will happen. In no time, the very shortest possible time. That's the man we're talking about, Shatta Wale. So yes, of course, we'll hear from him shortly. Mapito Sibidi, thanks so much for bringing us that. But a National Science and Maths Quiz Championship is here, and the countdown to crown the 2021 winners will start tomorrow as we begin with the preliminary contest, with the adrenaline and rush and pressure they experienced, especially from old students who were keen on winning to earn the bragging rights. The 2020 winners from Presec Legon are urging contestants of the participating schools to be calm and find a way to deal with the anxiety that comes with being on the big stage. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
The auditorium of the 2020 finals was filled with anxiety as the schools sang their anthem. The contest featured Presec Legon, Adesado College and Opokuwari School. After 5 rounds of heated contests, Presec Legon became the 2020 champions with just 5 points. It was an unforgettable contest that even caught the attention of the president.
This year is the turn of the Odadiers, who impressed the whole nation with their performance in the competition. So I applaud the contestants, Isaac Kofi Jemfi, Benjamin Kwanzaa Nketia, and perhaps the most famous of them all, Daniel Kekeli Gabeto.
1 year after going through the experience, the winners have advice for this year's contestants who will be battling for the trophy. 2020 NSMQ winner from Presec, Daniel Gakpeto, wants the contestants to know it is a competition and they do not have control over the outcome.
As much as everyone is here to win, in the end, it's a competition. You may go through successfully till the very end, or you might fall short. It's at the end of the day, life goes on. Whatever happens, whether you win the competition or you go out in your first contest, the most important thing is to put it behind you and move on with life, because life goes on after anything.
With a huge interest from old students of the competing schools, Benjamin Nketia wants the contestants to know they carry the burden of both current and old students of their schools, and that they should be able to control the pressure from them.
If a lot of hopes are on you, win the quiz for us. If you've not won the quiz before, the possible motivation will be like, win the quiz for me, pressure from the old boys. Just put that aside and let your real convictions drive you towards the trophy. And on the day of the quiz, any contest you are doing, don't look at your opponents too much. Whereas the way their demeanor might put some fear in you. So just go that you are your real competition is the questions, trying to answer the questions.
Isaac Kofi Jemfi says as an NSMQ winner, they have very high expectations of him. He has this advice for the contestants.
And for me, it's been a life of gratitude, full of opportunities, and also living up to the expectation of everyone, because everyone is expecting you to pull up good performance in anything you do in college, in your quizzes, in assignments, and everything. So it kind of encourages me to work harder to keep the standard. They should have it in mind that they are in for victory. For a competition like this, there's only one winner. There might be ups and downs, but just know that you're a winner in anything, and everyone is very proud of you. So you are a winner in your own way. So just keep on believing and have fun. Make new friends too, because it's very necessary.
The competition starts on the 26th October. You want to stay on the JoyNews channel for all the sights and sounds. We take a break for sports on the Pulse, so stay tuned in.
Hello, my name is Evans Mensah, and you can relive all the fun and excitement on Top Story, Newsnight, and of course, Ghana Connect via podcast. All you need to do is to log on to my Joy Online/podcast. Search for your favorite show and relive the moment. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Staying with us, Hans Mensah here with Sports on the Pulse. Now, after dropping into the CAF Confederations Cup following their mauling at the hands of Wydad Athletic Club, Hearts of Oak have been drawn against JS from Algeria's top flight. The draw, which took place in Cairo, saw 32 clubs from across Africa set into different pots. Hearts were in pot 3, which was made up of the lowest ranked teams from the CAF Champions League. Now, speaking earlier to my colleague Ariel Smith, Intro FM's Nuhu Adams urged the Hearts to be wary of the threat Saoura will pose in those two-layer games.
Well, Gary, JSR is an unknown side when we talk of CAF competitions. I think their first appearance was in 2017. They were eliminated in the prelims by Enugu Rangers of Nigeria. 2019, they got to the group stages of the CAF Champions League, but very unfortunately, they couldn't advance from the group stage. This is their third ever appearance in CAF competition. But you see, this is a North African side, and there's no way you can underrate them or underestimate them. Because in recent times, Ghanaian teams have faced unknown sides in North Africa and still got out of the competition. So there's no way we can write off JSR. But looking at the teams that were possible to face House of Oak, JSR is quite a fair draw and it's quite manageable by House of Oak. What House of Oak can do is get a very good scoreline in the first leg and then ensure that you go and qualify in the second leg, no matter the scoreline that you get in the second leg. Well, JSR, as you said, are very strong at home. When they played in the CAF Champions League in 2017,
Ali couldn't beat them in Algeria. They beat Simba and AS Vita Club at home. And in the last 25 matches in all competitions, they've not lost at home. The last time JSR lost at home was 16 December 2019. So that should tell you that before you can qualify, you have to get a very good scoreline in the first leg, which, House of Oak will play at Accra Sports Stadium before they travel to Algeria for the second leg. So JSR, very on own side, but history tells us that there's no way we can underrate them. MO Bejaya eliminated Ashanti Gold, they were unknown. GSM Bejaya eliminated Asante Kotoko, they were unknown. MC and Uma were unknown, they eliminated Asante Kotoko. So there's no way we can write or underrate this team.
The Football Association has made 6 technical changes ahead of the 2021-2022 football season, which gets underway on Friday. Let's run through the changes that have been put in place by the Ghana Football Association. You'll be seeing them on your screen pretty shortly. There you go. So the first one is that they've introduced 5 substitutions, and teams will be allowed to make 5 substitutions during a game. There will be 3 opportunities to make those 5 substitutions. So at some point, teams are going to have to make double substitutions. Now, match day squad has been increased from 18 players to 20 players. And then the fourth one is that clubs can now have 9 substitutes on the bench from the previous 7. The fifth one is that clubs are allowed to register up to 40 players for the season. And of those 40 players, 10 must be below the age of 17 years. So those are the 6 changes that have come into force from the Ghana Football Association for the upcoming season, 2021-2022. Joining us for some analysis is football coach Osman Saidu. And Coach Osman, thank you very much for joining me. My interest really has to do with the 10 players that must be registered by the clubs to make up the 40. Those players should be below the age of 17 years. What is the thinking from the FA here?
Thank you very much for having me this evening. I think it's a very laudable idea, and to me, it's a way of introducing these kids to professional football. Now, what this means is that ordinarily, you would never, ever have any team that would register 10 players who are U17. That's not something usual in Ghana. So this opportunity gives the young stars the opportunity to be introduced into professional and football. And to me, is one of the greatest or the best decisions ever the Ghana Football Association has taken. And I support this fully. Now, what this means is that we're going to have young players who would have the opportunity to feature in the Ghana Premier League. Now, my worry here is the fact that we should ensure that these kids are really 17 years, and that we should not go and be bringing kids that are over 25 years and then assuming they are 17 years. If we do that, it depicts the purpose or the objective of this whole idea. But I think it's a great idea by the GFA, and I give them a lot of respect for that.
I mean, realistically, if you look at the previous season, we didn't see a significant number of players under the age of 17 featuring for the various clubs. There's a sense that these players are probably going to be adding up to the numbers. What will be your response to that?
They would never add up to the numbers. Look, every coach would definitely parade or showcase his best players. We have talented kids that are U17, and trust me, when we train on their strength, they could even play better than some of the superstars we know in the GPL. These kids are talented. I've seen a number of them. As I speak to you now, I'm just from a training field, and I can see a lot of talented kids that have all it takes: their agility, their decision making, their technique, their speed. They have all it takes to be in the professional league, but they do not have the opportunity till now. So for me, it's a real great opportunity, and they are just not going to warm any bed.
Okay, Coach.
Some of them are
due to time, final question here. There are those who also feel that we're already struggling with player exodus in this country. The best players are leaving, and giving players under the age of 17 years Premier League experience only exposes them further to agents and other people who might want to get them outside the country. It also means that you are looking at young players with significant experience in top flight football. It only worsens the situation because we are going to see players leaving at a rather, younger age.
No, I see it to rather be solving a problem. Should I tell you why? Let me just give you one example. Suleimana and Kudus.
Okay.
Which Premier team did they play?
None.
There is a paradigm shift from people who are exploiting our countries in terms of players, from looking at them at the senior level to coming to look for them at the junior level.
Okay.
That's how come we are not seeing quality in our premiership. So rather, I think this is a great opportunity for these kids to be given the opportunity to play before somebody comes and grabs them away and play abroad.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach Osman Seidu there with perspective on that provision by the Ghana Football Association for Class 2 register 10 players under the age of 17 years as part of their 40-man squad. We'll continue to have these conversations and try to put further, get different perspectives to the conversation. In the meantime, you can read more sports at myjoyonline.com/sport. I'm Hans Mensando. Many thanks for your time.
And that's where we draw the curtains on the pulse this afternoon. I've indeed enjoyed my almost 2 hours stay with you. Up next is Let's Talk Showbiz. But you can also get more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. We have updates of all the developing stories. Stay tuned in and enjoy the rest of our programs.
Hello, my name is Evans Mensah, and you can relive all the fun and excitement on Top Story, Newsnight, and of course, Ghana Connect via podcast. All you need to do is to log on to myjoyonline/podcast. Search for your favorite show and relive the moment. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Hello, welcome to Let's Talk Showbiz here on the Joy News channel. My name is Doreen Avio, and I can see some Shatter fans smiling or laughing a lot because they've heard some good news today, and also some MDK fans are also happy. But most importantly, the music industry, some colleagues of these artists I'm sure are really happy today. I'll bring you updates on how it all went down in court today, and also some updates on what exactly their bill means. Well, I also have some updates on Ghana Music Awards UK, as organizers have arrived in the country and they've actually given the plaques to the musicians who won awards on the night in the United Kingdom. My name is Doreen Avia and the show is Let's Talk Showbiz. If you're just joining me, this is Let's Talk Showbiz, and well, it's a happy day for the music industry as Shatta Wale and Medical have been granted bail. But on the bail issue, we've all heard they've been granted bail. We've heard some 100,000 cedis somewhere. We've heard words like recognizance bill and all that. And I'm sure for most of us who are not into law might not understand all of this. But as you look on the screen on what is happening and how everything transpired in court today, you get to see how Shatta Wale and the others came out of the van, how they went in there and how things were done and after, and how fans actually also reacted to everything. But I have Prince Chaga, who has a background in law, and he has actually been doing the explaining about the bill, the 100,000 cities involved, and the self-recognizance bill, all those meanings, those terms used in law. And I believe that is an opportunity for us all to learn, those of us who are not lawyers. So, well, let's listen to this from Prince Chega. We all know him as the Don.
Now, self-recognizance simply means that you are somebody who's very eminent, reputable person. It's given to celebrities, chiefs, politicians.
Right, so that was Prince Chega. We all know him as the Don. He has a background in law, and well, he has been doing the explanation for us, and I believe that you have learned one or two things in terms of how Shatta Wale and Medical have been built. I hear some people are already wishing to be in Shatta Wale's home or that of Medical, just to see how, you know, things are being done there. But I believe in the coming days, we all have learned, we all have seen, and we all know how to act or react in public or do things around us. Now, away from Shatta Wale and Medical, on the 9th of October, Ghana was in the United Kingdom for the Ghana Music Awards UK. I was there. I saw lots of awards that were given to artists. Most of them were not there, but organizers took the initiative to actually bring all the plaques down all the way to Ghana to present the plaques to the award winners. And well, my colleague Noella was there, and some of the musicians came there to also receive their plaques and also thank organizers and also receive prizes that were, you know, added to their plaques as well. So let's take a look at how it all happened in East Legon.
They said that an artist of the year has to be male. Okay, she broke that. Then they went to the fact that gospel music cannot win artist of the year. She's broken that again. So ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate not just the winner, but the winner who has done that in grand style. And today she's here to take her trophies and also a good product from our sponsors. So please, I will call on the Gospel Artist of the Year, the Gospel Song of the Year, and Overall Artist of the Year for the CAFM Ghana Music Awards 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give it up a big round of applause for our winner, Diana Hamilton. Big round of applause. So that is the first one she's winning today. Congratulations. No, she has already won it, so she's just now taking it. So thank you very much, Gospel Artist of the Year, Anna Hamilton. And this is Emilio, who is the CEO of West Coast Entertainment as well, and part of course, Ghana Music Awards UK. So let's have the presentation for the Gospel Song of the Year. Congratulations again. Award number 2. So now we're going to get to the third and final one, which is the biggest one. After all the hard work, one artist stood out tall that day, and yes, we celebrate her today. She's got a trophy and from CAFM Ghana as well. She gets herself a double door fridge from CAFM. So the award, and you pick up a fridge from our sponsors. We say thank you, we salute you for all the hard work. And then we're gonna go over to this side to please get you a fridge. So you can please come over and join us here. Let's get the official presentation. Congratulations one more time, Diana.
Grace that has been made available to myself and to the nations of the world. A big thank you to Alodia Promotion and to the organizers of the CAFM Ghana Music Awards UK.
So congratulations to Akwawa, good job done. We celebrate you this afternoon. Congratulations to the men of Akwawa, good job done. That's it.
So I'm here with the winner of the High Life Artist of the Year and High Life Song of the Year, Akwawa. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. So show us your trophy.
Yeah, that's
It's quite heavy, huh?
Very heavy, trust me. Very, very heavy.
So, I mean, how are you feeling right now holding the flag, and winning it all along?
I would say it's a good feeling. I'm most grateful to God because this is you being recognized out there. You get it? So being who you are, out there, people are seeing what you're doing. So I'm very happy, and I'd like to say big ups to the organizers. Yeah.
And your album, we've all been waiting for your album. Yeah. You've been telling us it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. When is it coming?
Pretty soon. And the reason is you know, I want something good for you guys. The last album that I released is almost 4 years, and people are still enjoying the songs on the album. And that is what I'm looking for, longevity, not in a rush to release something that after a year or let's say 2-3 months, it's going to go. You get it? So I'm just taking my time. But trust me, pretty soon it's going to come out.
Awards UK 2021. Thank you very much. DJ KCJ, let's get back on this one.
Only you put a box down.
Music Awards UK 2021 for the best music video.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Right, so well, you saw it all. Ghana Music Awards UK, Shatta Wale medical granted bail, and well, we're all hoping for the best for the entertainment industry. My name is Doreen Avio, and of course, this has been Let's Talk Showbiz. A very big thank you to you, Osei, Ike, Nicholas, and well, remember we are back here same time on the Joy News channel. Remember to log on to myjoyonline.com, the entertainment page, for more of our stories, and also go on the Joy Entertainment page on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and get all the updates with videos there, and you know, just to get you updated on everything that is happening in your world of showbiz. On Twitter and Facebook is Doreen Avio, and on Instagram it's Doreen_Avio. Have a great evening.